Let's open the agenda, giving the floor to the representation of the Tuscany region in Brussels. That is my region. So let me thank them once again, because our president, being member of the European Committee of the Regions, we were able to share these lessons in this European institution that is key for a part of policy making that, according to our national constitutions, is very much related to the regional level. So this is why we chose this. And thanks again. And I think there is a message.
Thank you, Veronica, and thanks all of you for this event. And we are really proud of having in Tuscany, such an important, cluster on such an important industrial production. I'm the head of office of EU Liaison Office of Tuscany region. And I'm also the assistant of Mr. Gianni, the president of the region. He really apologized for not being here. He will be here in Brussels in 1 week when there will be the General Assembly of the Committee of the Region. But he, provided all the effort to, allow you to be here, because we think it's really, really important. The president thinks it's really important as a message to be in the House of the Regions. I have just a short message from him. I will try to be very synthetic, not to take out time for you. So the president, Gianni, says, I'm delighted to patronize this event, both in his role as a member of the Committee of the Region, but also he's very proud as president of Tuscany region, capital of the Italian railway industry and cradle of many centuries-old manufacturing industries. STARS is, together with its twin project, ReStartSMEs, one of the 2 pilot projects co-founded by the European Commission to help the more traditional SMEs to use advanced technologies in their activities. In particular, the STARS project is focused on SMEs in the railway sector and has been Tuscany as a major player in its implementation and in the involvement of SMEs in this area. I'm therefore very interested to follow the next initiatives at EU level that will arise from the results of the project, since Tuscany hosts the most important railway supply chain in Italy, and it's planning continuous investment in innovation for national and regional transport. Yes, innovation policies are a key point for Tuscany region. I wish also to stress that for Tuscany region and its industries, the presence of the DTEC Fair district is very relevant for 2 main reasons. It brings together more than 50 of the most dynamic and collaborative companies and research organizations in Italy. It represents a gateway to skills at European level because of its role as lead partner and vice president in Railway Cluster Initiative, ERCI, which gathers the 16 railway districts of Europe and brings together 2,000 European companies of the railway industry in 17 countries, and the main European universities specialized in the railway industry. I hope, therefore, that the policy recommendation that will be presented today to the European, national, and regional legislators can have an important impact in helping traditional SMEs from all sectors and the rail industry to adopt advanced technologies and increase their resilience, competitiveness, and innovative capacity. Thank you for your attention. So thanks to everybody.
We in DG GROW, and I would say in particular in my unit, as you said, that deals with key important stakeholders, with the Industrial Forum, alliances and clusters, we believe really in the strength and the power of collaboration in that respect. And we have indeed established, as you know, the European Cluster Collaboration Platform, the ECCP, that brings together 1,100 cluster organizations from all over Europe, so different regions and different sectors. And this platform provides also a space for networking, for knowledge sharing, for collaboration and exchange of best practices, but also to explore new business opportunities. And we have in this context also established a number of tools that can support these objectives. I'm thinking there, for example, of matchmakings, of collaboration tools, but also of events where we bring together the key stakeholders. And clusters, in our view, play in particularly a key role in terms of resilience, not only with a view to establishing partnerships and overcoming, for example, supply chain bottlenecks, but we see clusters also as change agents, because clusters can really support the digital and green transition by, for example, facilitating the uptake of digital and critical technologies. And in that respect, I think, of course, a key role pertains to the ICT clusters that have helped boost innovation, growth, and competitiveness by developing such technological solutions. But I would say not only, because also the non-ICT clusters play a key role in helping members in adopting these digital business models. You know, the development of new services like apps, platforms, software, and also support those businesses that are more intensive on the R&D and capital front. Maybe linked to that, and since it is also managed, so to say, by my unit in DG Grow, is that in addition to the clusters, we also have business support organizations. We have the EN, the Enterprise Europe Network, where we work very closely with their members, basically on the same objectives. And the EN provides, for example, advisory services in the area of sustainability, in the area of digitalization, to help companies identify critical technologies and also upgrade their business models. And over the past years, we have worked particularly intensive to bring together these different networks and to strengthen synergies between them. So the clusters, the EN, the European Digital Innovation Hubs. And I think the best example of good collaboration and interesting projects that foster growth, competitiveness, and innovation are indeed the two projects presented today, ReStartSMEs and STARS, because they were indeed born out of the wish, so to say, to create strong alliances on the one hand between traditional SMEs, but also tech-savvy SMEs. And over the past years, I can say that you have worked extremely hard to make that happen, in particular in these extremely challenging times that we have mentioned before. A lot of challenges caused through the war in Ukraine, through the rise in energy prices, but you kept going and you promoted business collaboration and technology adoption by fostering these cooperations. And I would say the aim of today's event, indeed, we see it also as a way of exchanging best practices, but maybe also lessons learned. What can we do better? What can we repeat? And to also in this way help us inform our policy making, cluster policy making going forward. And I just want to take the opportunity one more time to say a really big thank you for your hard work and efforts in that respect. And I think that, and I strongly believe that the collaborations that you have built, they will last and they will actually set us on a path of competitiveness and sustainability also going forward. So a very big thanks.
Well, thank you very much for those wonderful words. Because yes, we're looking forward to sharing our lessons learned. And of course, I'm also very happy to introduce Igor Kalinic. He is the head of sector at SMEA, the European Innovation Council and SMEs Executive Agency.
Thank you very much. So coming from the same institution as Mariella, I will try not to repeat the points, although at our side, policymakers and politicians like to repeat a lot of things to bring so just a little bit, not to confuse too much European citizens. There is DG, there is executive agency. Well, basically for you, we are the commission. So that's of course, people that worked in the project know, I repeated that many times. But to give you an idea, the DG is a little bit, it's what I call the head. So the strategic thinking, the vision forward, and the executive agencies are executing, so are more the hand. That's the analogy that I usually use. And therefore, we are in the agencies, usually we are more following the projects day to day, and we are making sure that all the financial rules are respected. We are the bad cops sometimes. But I mean, especially with the unit of Mariella, we have a lot of collaboration. You heard earlier mentioning Enterprise Europe Network, the European Cluster Platform. There are only few, also European Industry Days. So it's a very tight and good collaboration that we have. Well, now going more into the projects and for why we are here, I think that it was very interesting to follow the dynamics of these two projects over the time. And usually when we do these calls, there are more projects founded. In this case, there were only two. And this actually allowed us more to do a comparison between the two. And they were quite different. You will hear about the projects and results. But one, I mean, I would like to say one was really stressed in one sector, one specific industry sector, and the other one was more horizontal. And there we will have lessons learned that we will be discussing today. But both of these projects really aimed in using clusters as catalyzers. And I think this is exactly the direction where the Commission is going when we are talking not anymore about industry sectors, but about industrial ecosystems. What is an ecosystem? Unfortunately or fortunately, I have a background in business management, and I could discuss the definition, and what is written in the books is maybe a little bit different what the police or politicians thought about it when they put it in the Commission. But anyway, it's very difficult to define what is an ecosystem. Anyway, the ecosystem is everything and nothing. And however, the people that are inside know very well what it is. It is like, you know, those regions in Europe that don't really have the borders. It's not like Tuscany. Okay, we know what's the Tuscany. But it's like, oh, is this Maremma, for example, where it is? Well, the guy that lives there knows exactly if he's in or out. So that's a little bit what the ecosystem is. It's very difficult to give a definition, but people that are working on it, they know very well it is. And this is very important actually to get to the SMEs. And the importance of the clusters is every day growing. In most of the EU countries, not all, but for example, the chambers of commerce are not really doing exactly the role that they were doing in the past. So also industrial associations sometimes are very at the high level. So really to be able to reach the SMEs, and especially the SMEs that were the target of this call. So the traditional, I call them traditional SMEs, the one that are not really tech savvy. The clusters could be really the way to do it. One thing that we observed, but I will not talk too much about takeaways, is the difficulty to attract the interest of these SMEs. And this is something that we in the Commission, we have really to take into consideration, because traditional SMEs really don't see. Well, they could see it's cool to have something digital, but I mean, I can do it myself and maybe I can spare 5 minutes, but what is that gonna bring me in the end? And also the perspective of a small company with 5 employees or 15, 20 employees talking about the green impact, CO2 and whatever. Yes, can be, but then the end of the day, if they don't bring bread home, as we say in Italy, that's not gonna fly. I mean, the company doesn't have the prospect that they can be investing forever to have a return in 5 or 10 years. They need to have a return not even in the same year, at month basis. So I think that there were some problems. I hope that you will provide us with the feedbacks and that we will be able to transmit it to grow, and then in future to the countermeasures for these problems. So much about from myself, and back to you. Thank you very much.
So let's say ready to go. Okay, let's see what we did. But first, to make everyone aware of what we did, let us frame our projects a little. So let's recap what we did, what we wanted to do. So for stars, as anticipated by Igor, it is the vertical one, okay, applied to a vertical sector that is considered very important for European, global competitiveness, because in the railway technologies, Europe is a global leader. The first reference, as I said, is to the fact that the railway sector is considered not only by us that are working in it, but also by the European institutions, a crucial industry for the EU, sorry for that. And we are world leader, but as stressed and anticipated by the European Parliament already some years ago, there is beyond this strategic relevance that should be kept and maintained. There is a stronger competition, okay, a strong competition that is coming from, of course, outside the EU. And the role of innovation in this is key, and challenges for the SMEs are at the core of this struggle. And but sorry, there is something. Okay, sorry, there are some shifts, some problems with the slides. Okay, the second point is that we are in a sector that is embracing a huge transformation. The reference for us, I mean, in terms of a vision, in terms of a strategic research agenda and so on, are laid down by ERAC, so the Rail Research Council, and by the Europe's Rail Joint Undertaking, that of course is one more, institutions that is delivering, once again, the hands that are delivering concrete results under the umbrella of the Horizon Europe program, and also them are defining where our sector should go. Then there is something, let me say, bigger than us. There are the global megatrends that are, of course, reshaping how we should do things and are also creating new value chains, reshuffling them. And as you can see, all global megatrends are impacting, okay, many sectors, but the one we are targeting, mobility, logistics, and so on, is one of the most impacted by these trends, megatrends. So we cannot fight them, but we need to know how they work and anticipate as much as possible, not just with the big industry leaders, but also with all the value chain. And last but not the least, it was mentioned by Ms. Masselink, the COVID-19 and what it meant for the all of us. So analyzing the impact of COVID-led disruptions on the different industrial ecosystems of Europe, it resulted that the two that are covered by the STARS project, that means mobility and transport, but also construction, because in order to create, of course, the railway networks, we need to construct. So the two were the most impacted sectors, okay? So really, for us, resilience and recovery was a keyword. For this reason, we decided to participate in the call with a huge partnership, huge for us, because 17 partners, where 10 are cluster organizations, whose role, as anticipated, is to be on the field, is to be on the territories, but also to be able to connect the value chains also beyond the borders. 1 digital innovation hub, 5 technology centers, with specific and complementary skills, and 1 startup specialized in the blockchain technology. That is, of course, one of the advanced technologies mapped by the European Commission DG GROW under the Advanced Technologies for Industry project. This was our consideration. We also had many supporters that were, again, the so-called Shift to Rail Joint Undertaking. It was ERCI, so the meta-cluster of the railway sector. It was the EN, it was Digital Innovation Hubs, and many, many more, because we did need to capitalize on their knowledge, on their expertise, and also for a broader outreach. The target technologies, as I said, were all of them are necessary to bring to the market the innovations that the railway sector is targeting. But out of them, we targeted one specific challenge. As I said, we have among the partners, one startup specialized in blockchain. And this was a challenge because when I saw this slide presented by the European Commission, what I saw is that blockchain, at that time, it was 2019, was among the least adopted technologies. And this was really impressive for me because in Tuscany, with that startup and other 3 cluster organizations, we were already delivering the blockchain, making concretely adopted the blockchain technology to our SMEs. TRL 9. So we said, oh God, how can it be? And then we decided to scale this experience to the level of all the other colleagues and clusters in Europe. So from a region, the regional experience in this case became the reference for a European model. I will use 13 keywords to say what STARS did. The first, engage SMEs. First, using a very hard SME survey, because as I said in a previous meeting, SMEs don't like survey. Okay, but however, we obtained some 130 answers. And this paid very much direct engagement because of the trust that cluster managers have built through years. You take the phone, you call them, and you receive more information than they could put into an online survey. Then understand according to their answers. Again, we analyzed their answers in the SME survey, and we did regional focus groups, because it is true that the call wanted European level strategic alliances. Okay, so alliances where SMEs, target SMEs, could work together, at least a group of 10 from at least 3 different regions in Europe. And for us, it was also many, many more, because it was very populated alliances. But for this, we felt the opportunity and the need to keep also a regional level, because again, otherwise they are uncomfortable because of the English language and because they don't know the other companies, maybe they're competitors, and they say nothing. They come, they meet, but they say nothing. So what is the benefit? So we used very much the regional focus groups. Then we gathered and we connected. As I said, we launched 15 multi-region, multi-country strategic alliances. We involved SMEs from 11 countries and 45 regions. That is a quite good outreach. Then within these alliances, we better understood what they had already gave us as inputs, okay? We did meetings inside the strategic alliances, but again, it was very beneficial to have one-to-one meetings with the technology centers and the cluster's tutorship. We call it tutorship because we acted like that, as a tutor. Then we steered. Also, we steered because the adoption of advanced technologies, that is something so futuristic, should go somewhere. And we needed to tell the SMEs for what reason we would like them to adopt, okay? And it is for helping us to transform the railway sector in 2030. So we did a very thorough technology innovation analysis of the railway innovation trends and what advanced technologies are needed to deliver that. This was very, very concrete, because ultimately, not just saying, oh, look how sexy IoT is. No. Oh, look, you need to adopt IoT because the railway sector needs this kind of diagnostics, real-time, and so on and so forth. This was very much detailed and very concrete. Then, of course, we proposed and motivated, okay? Very much, of course, the technical assistance was a key from the technology centers with the STARS blockchain network, as I said, to help first-hand adoption of a technology. We organized 5 hack and match events that were very, very funny, ultimately. We organized a bit-to-match platform dedicated to it, and we also created a georeferenced mapping of European tech-savvy SMEs relevant to the railway sector, not all of them. So you want to find someone doing health. We don't need it, okay? But this means that we carefully selected the ones that can be helpful to our sector. And this is something that will remain. So very hard, but because ultimately we didn't use any AI tool to scrape them. It is man-made search and selection. And then we tried to explain easy. Explain easy is key, because otherwise SMEs don't understand. And we organized 16 tutorials with 500 participants live and 600 later that watched the tutorials on the STARS YouTube channel. So quite a good outreach. And the webinars The difference between the two is that tutorials is how to. They explain how to utilize an IoT sensor, how to set up and create more cybersecurity into the company and so on. This is the tutorial. The webinar was meant to show concrete examples of adoption of those technologies, okay? At the end, explaining what the technologies were used to deliver a railway product. And then 2 multi-day acceleration events. That was very funny, okay? Physical meetings, 3 days, the first, 2 days, the second, 200 participants from 12 countries. This was great, from A to Z, to teach how it works and why to use an advanced technologies. And again, the service of the search blockchain. We delivered concrete use cases. So the companies have use cases defined, customized on themselves, more than 100. We identified the 23 specific solutions through the Hacky Match events. And some of them became EU project proposals because we were lucky enough to have calls that fitted to turn those solutions into reality. And we targeted 4 calls worth of 11 solutions and use cases. We helped to scale. This is the business support, okay? So again, identifying relevant calls and continuing to connect SMEs with the target tech-savvy SMEs because of the database. Last but not the least, communicate, disseminate. We use everything, website, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube channel for training further, video testimonials with the SMEs, because we wanted the faces, okay? And visual summaries of their needs and also of the events and so on and so forth. So let me conclude thanking the partner that was in charge of the communication, because just to say that it was a continuous process. We tried to improve all the way through, okay? Also communication did that, okay? We improved and finally, I think, because also, I mean, appearance is important, we had a very look and feel image of this project. That's all from my side.
Right. Moving on with Restart SMEs, and as I think it was also adequately already introduced, it was a completely different in so far as it's a broad approach. So we're trying to reach the manufacturing sector as such, and the slides move on. Okay. But anyway, it's a similar, it's the same call, it's a similar approach, and the overall aim, or it's an initiative in response to the COVID-19 pandemic and the resulting economic downturn, right? So the approach was to build resilience in the manufacturing SMEs by adopting new and modern technologies or advanced technologies. So the overall goal of the project is to match technology providers with the traditional manufacturing SMEs in order to connect them and make those meaningful connections and alliances to transition into Industry 5.0. And just a quick footnote to Industry 5.0, it's more human-centered and environmentally conscious approach towards solutions. So that's, I think, also a very important step considering the times we are in. So we have a not so large consortium as the STARS project. We have 8 partners, 5 clusters, BW Con, Mobina from Portugal, Clustero from Romania, Limpra from Lithuania, and Fondazione Piemonte Innova from Italy. They all have, in a way, different focus. We have 2 ICT-focused clusters and the rest more on industry. Then we have 2 tech centers, IMEC, I think most everybody knows, and then Eurecat from Catalonia, which surely also everybody knows. And then a third partner is a funding box called Accordingly, who really did a wonderful job in communicating and disseminating our activities. So those are the partners that are also well spread geographically, as you can see. And we also had a support by associated clusters in announcing our activities and also trying to engage the manufacturing SMEs. But so won't go into much of the details, the gory details of our activities, but I'm going to strip it down to the ReStartSMEs journeys, which are the primary activities that we engaged in to engage the manufacturing sector. So starting off with a digital maturity assessment or survey, as you also had, which was an online form, and that was, of course, to try and engage the readiness for digitalization on a diversity of topics, be it, do you have a strategy? What is your data security? Are you aware of green digitalization and different topics, just to gauge where they are, which made them part of a community, an online community, which is, of course, also an important platform to exchange and get in contact with others who have similar issues. Once they filled in the form, our tech partners contacted them to get an interview, a 1-hour interview, and get a better idea of what type of advanced technology could support them and bring them into this next step of the digital transformation. And so result of that would be a tailored technology adoption roadmap, where also it's very practical, hands-on steps provided, but also a suggestion of local technology providers that could help them, make that adoption. And supported was all of these activities with 5 Hack for Restart events. We call them Hack for Restart events, where matchmaking, knowledge transfer in the form of sensitization, but also use cases. I think this is really important to show, examples of what worked, what are some of the successes, how can it be, translated into, your type of activities, just to provide a little bit more orientation. So we had 5 of those in this year. And another very important aspect, of course, of the digital transformation is the and upskilling of the workforce. So there we had a platform where we provided a plethora of different webinars online by sector, but also, of course, technology. And also during the Hack for Restart events, we had spontaneous ad hoc, presentations on different topics, also trying to respond, of course, because in 2 years, a lot happens. So exactly. So we did that. And we also provided business support, which was another in this whole journey, of course, providing this next step of, finding funding. Once you do have the roadmap and some steps, usually what's necessary is some kind of a funding opportunities, or maybe even business models or whatnot. So this is the journey and also the type of activities that we base our lessons learned on. And also then the policy recommendations. But I think as Mariela Masselink, of course, also mentioned, which I'm thankful for, is this, of course, a diversity of crises that happened at the same time. So it wasn't only the corona pandemic that had its after effects, of course, but also the war of aggression against the Ukraine. The climate should not be forgotten. And so there are all these different issues that distract our target audience. Because, we were confronted with high energy prices, of course, the supply chain disruption, which is a major issue in the manufacturing sector, but also inflation. So access to funding and capital has been difficult. There's also a shortage of skilled workforces, and technological advancements are not slowing down. So it's just different issues that really, made it quite difficult. So we discovered a diversity of barriers to this digital transformation that I think it's really important to into consideration when trying to assist manufacturing SMEs, because there's really often a lot, a lack of understanding and awareness of the the advantages and benefits of advanced technology, and often even like blockchain, it's still super abstract and very difficult to grasp. So this is the perceived complexity, of course, which is it's justifiable or understandable, of course, but also the cost that's involved with it. It's just really some kind of nebulous something out there. Of course, there's also limited financial, but also time and staff resources, or the technical expertise. Not many SMEs have a technical manager or innovation manager, which is also a dedicated person that really can also provide and focus their time on that. Again, limited access to funding for digitalization projects. There's also, we had some major issues with security and data privacy. Not too many people want to just divulge their information about where they are as far as digitalization is concerned on some website that they're not familiar with. So this was also something that we had to, in a way, try to reconsider. And of course, there's also not only the organizational culture that's different in the diversity of sectors, but also, of course, regional cultures and language. Language is one big thing. It needs to be very local, the support in the same language. And I think, we're two very different projects in a way, but in this, we have similar challenges, I think. And I think that's one of them is this locality and this one-on-one where you really get to talk to the people and have this exchange and that takes time. So right. And another thing actually that we've stumbled across is that there's really also a diversity of digitalization activities at the regional local, regional, national, but also European level, that it's really sometimes for SMEs difficult to understand what is the better, digital assessment tool. Where do I get better help on whatnot? So I think there's also a lot of competition out there, and that I think that was another challenge. So that's very brief and very trying to keep time here. Very direct feedback from our side. Just like I said, it's the basis for the lessons learned that we want to prepare, and also the policy recommendations. But you might see now a Slido screen and a QR code pretty soon. And with this, you are able, everybody online. Also, this is how we want to bring the hybrid situation into one. If there are any questions at any point, please do enter them and under this code. And of course, also you can vote for other, questions that have been posed, and we'll try and, find the most pressing one, the most burning, the hottest one, and answer them if we have the time. We'll see, and if not, we'll of course also try and get back to those questions and answer them as afterwards. But hopefully everybody has had the time to check into Slido and engage with us in this way, because we do also want to have later an interactive policy recommendation session. So I appreciate your feedback, your input and thoughts in this way. So now transitioning on to the lessons learned.
With the video, if it is ready.
Yes.
The STARS project aims to support the SMEs of the European rail supply industry to adopt advanced technologies. The railway sector in Europe is going to embrace a huge transformation with the target to 2030, and all companies need to be ready for that. What we learned during the project implementation is that SMEs are very much focused on the daily business and to deliver what the market is currently requiring them. For this reason, we helped them focus more on the future and include in their strategies also this kind of transformation led by digital transition and green transition.
STARS is a project that makes me very happy because it copes with one of the main issues related to clusters. Clusters, we are agents of change. And for changing, we need first of all to identify scenarios of improvement in competitiveness, then a value chain. But if we have these scenarios let's say, at Welle, then SMEs has a principal and crucial role because they are much more, let's say, faster to market.
It was not so easy to involve SMEs because we have a problem of availability, but we tried to improve events after events.
We had some instruments on our hand to help them to get into the project.
What we discovered works best is we have to make a very close cooperation with them and implement a mentorship approach or tutorship approach.
The most interesting thing was working on the approach to involve these SMEs in the project.
Having led the solutions identified in the project to open calls, so they became real projects.
We have the opportunity to explore the new technology with international experts.
These stars accelerated the implementation of advanced technologies such as AI, Internet of Things and machine learning into the traditional railway industry.
Concrete challenges and provide concrete solutions. It was a great tool and I'm really happy to have the opportunity to create this kind of tool.
The chance to learn some more and get some deeper insights into the advanced technologies and how to use them for their own use cases.
The value is that we were able to understand the needs from the SMEs, not only in the regional domain, but even from the European view.
The capacity learned by the cluster organizations to explain and translate to their SMEs the advanced technologies into a very comprehensive and understandable way to translate technology into daily business.
It was recorded yesterday. We see it right now for the first time. So it was just an anticipation of the lessons learned by Mr. Lutubner. Thanks for your attention.
Yeah, thank you very much, Veronica. And you already mentioned the number of instruments we used and invented during the STARS project. And on the lessons learned, I can summarize instrument by instrument what are the key points of it. And now I have to, it is first we started with a survey, and yes, it is to use an easily understandable language that is very important. Not so technical, not so based on the advanced technologies, but based on potential use cases of the small medium-sized enterprises. Then, for sure, a translation into national language could be important, and all the cluster managers being part of the STARS project did it with the help of personal interviews with their SMEs in order to support them to fill in the questionnaire. Then, engage. Reach to SMEs, I mentioned, that could be done by telephone interviews in order not to let them through the survey, but at first to motivate them to take part in the survey because of their importance as having basic information from where to start with each single SME. Then, the regional focus groups already mentioned by Veronica is a very important instrument. For sure, it's also good to use synergies there because we had 3 German-speaking partners in the STARS project. Why not to build up an multi-regional regional focus group containing of companies from 3 different regions, but all German-speaking, for sure with different needs. But normally you have different needs in regional focus groups, and then for cluster managers, it's important to know what these needs are and to collect what could be the best supporting instruments. Yeah, that means regional focus groups are very interesting. And the last point, once more, the tutorship approach is very important to get in contact, not to split out information, but to invite them directly to participate or to from supporting instruments. That's very important. We, for instance, in our region, we will, creating a package of possible and maybe already existing instruments, how to support small medium-sized enterprises in a further way. The strategic alliances. Veronica also mentioned it, and it is a situation that we try to create strategic alliances under certain interests of common interests of small medium-sized enterprises, but it was not every time easy. And the collaboration of small medium-sized enterprises are mainly count on their expected return on investment, and it's even difficult to speak about medium-term and long-term strategies with them. Rather better to talk with them what can I reach tomorrow. And for sure, if you see the crisis situation, they have lots to do with their daily business. For sure, some of the enterprises are not digital mature enough already enough to have a personnel to be teach in certain technologies. Often they do not understand what is the purpose of a certain technology, and that is also a topic that has been further elaborated, and a major role to do so is by the technology centers, which have the capability to translate the needs of small, medium-sized enterprises into the language of advanced technologies. That means they know what advanced technology is good for them. The confidentiality is another topic. Not every SME is open to talk about their business to nearly completely unknown other participants, and so it is important to have the one-to-one contact with them in order to understand what are their needs and what might be possible solutions. So I had a certain slide on strategic alliances. Yes, that means consistent management of strategic alliance was also a big challenge because we had 5 technology centers, and each technology center had to manage 2 to 4 strategic alliances, and every technology center has a different approach to do so, and maybe every approach is one of the right ones, but they are different. Maybe it's better to follow one single approach in order to have a good comparison between the alliances. So we have a scouting of tech-savvy SMEs in Europe. On the database are over 700 SMEs for the moment, and it is a time-consuming process to find out these tech-savvy SMEs, but it's rather fruitful. And to be personal aware of characteristics and technology offers. That is a chance when you go into this database and put in some keywords, and then you will find some of the companies you can investigate during their pages. If this company suits you to one of your members in order to further support them in adopting advanced technologies for their processes. Yeah, the Hack and Match events, Veronica also mentioned, and it was a completely new experience to all of our partners and also participants. Suggestion possible challenges. That is one part of the tutorship approach that it is good that small, medium-sized enterprises have an idea what kind of challenges might be interesting for this Hack and Match event to be solved, because the word hackathon and traditional on the one side and traditional SME on the other side, it might be a contradiction, but in a way the STARS project managed these 5 Hack and Match events with mostly direct support to concrete issues, concrete challenges. It led often to very promising solutions until development of project proposals. And for sure, also after the challenges, there were raised some fruitful contacts to further elaborate the solution. Yeah, I already mentioned helping the SMEs to identify their specific needs. That was very important there. And yeah, the list of possible challenges the SMEs can select from and customize it to their own purposes was very fruitful. Yeah, the Hack and Match events meeting platform was an complementary instrument to encourage contacts between companies, between traditional ones and tech-savvy ones, and with the help of this meeting platform, it was possible to have virtual meetings in between the hackathons and building up profiles with some basic information on the companies and maybe also on products. And it's very helpful also after the STARS project to identify maybe interesting partners for their for the own solution of small, medium-sized enterprise. Sometimes this platform was used only for finding customers, was not the spirit of STARS, but you cannot handle that companies are doing it that way. For the cluster managers and also for the technology centers, the settings of profiles are very interesting to have a look what are the capabilities and needs of the participants. So I think, yeah, we also make the experience that in general on-site meetings are better than virtual meetings, but for sure the instrument was enlarged to the virtual possibility due to the COVID pandemic. So the blockchain network was one of the key parts of the STARS projects and the key topics of the STARS project network. And the possibility to use and first test it on first hand was a very interesting and very important topic of the STARS project. And our blockchain provider, Apuada, made a great job on this to give the interested SMEs their own hand and let them through the process, make them to understand what the blockchain technology can do for ensuring the trustness of the supply chain, and that was very helpful. and it was user-friendly. Yeah, STARS webinars and tutorials. I'm nearly at the end of my presentation. Veronica mentioned it. We distinguish between webinars, what based more on the use cases, and tutorials was more based on the technology. And we had some good participation in these instruments, and we could reach a wide range of participants, as well as interesting speakers on European level, for instance, and the number of participation was very, very good. So then, for sure, due to the STARS YouTube channel, we could multiply the project outreach and its impact. So recordings of most of the STARS tutorials are available on the STARS YouTube channel and will remain it also after the project. Yeah, the acceleration events already mentioned on these two topics on blockchain and artificial intelligence took place both in Italy, was to teach technology from A to Z and move quickly from simple awareness to understanding and use case identification. Yeah, and last but not least, we had also an advisory group to gather very practical and smart indications and tools for the project. So I think that was the last slide of my presentation. Thank you for your attendance.
Thank you. Give concreteness to what we learned. We both brought with us an SME testimonial. Okay, now let's listen what this testimonial has to say with the STARS project. So Nicolo, okay, you can open your mic.
Yes. Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Nicola Renzoni from Italy. I'm part of the development team of Tesifer SRL, which is a Italian company based in Florence. I'll just go with a brief introduction of what we do. So we are specialized in the design for railway signaling and telecommunication plants, and in the last few years, we also expanded to subways and trams. We have experience, of course, from the design phase to the installation. We started in Italy, but we expanded also worldwide. We also have, as I said, I'm part of a development team. We also developed some tools used in simulation and project management. And we also developed some software solutions to manage the BIM documentation and all the applications in the field of railway technologies. Nowadays, we are a team of 70 people, and we wanted to bring some of our colleagues that could not attend here today in this picture. And what we believe in, of course, is innovation, and I think is the main topic here today. Our motto is a company on the rails, but open to innovation. And the STARS project, of course, fits perfectly with this motto. We at the beginning, as a technician, for me it was interesting to try and study the latest technologies such as artificial intelligence, blockchains, etc. But in our daily work life was difficult to have it met with the requirement of the company. But the STARS project helped us to enter this area, and from the beginning with the accelerator event, as said before from the other speakers, and then more in practice with the hack and match events. because we could bring our use cases to try to match these new technologies. So we participated in both the acceleration event that were held, both were held in Tuscany in Italy. The first one in Carrara, which is near the sea. It was about how to implement, how to use the blockchain, and we had the ability to speak with some experts and to understand how and why to use the blockchain network, and also all the cybersecurity aspects of use cases. The second one was held in Florence, our hometown, so it was quite easy for us to attend, but it was a perfect example for understanding how the artificial intelligence could improve the railway and mobility of railway and such. So then we participated in two of the Hack and Match projects that start created. We participated in the number two, which was about the big data for railway processes, products and services. And we proposed our use case, which is Smart Track. It is a RTMS data manager, and we could, with the help, of course, of the tutor and the technological partners, we could find a way how to integrate the blockchain network to improve traceability and data integrity. And the second Hack and Match we participated in was the number 4, which was last June. And we proposed how a safe is software solution because it could match with the topic, which was digital twin and artificial intelligence for railway processes, products and services. And we again combined our software solution, which is an automatic document management for ATP and ATC design. And we could find a way to include blockchain technology again, but this time we could also have it go with artificial intelligence to improve how the data is recognized and is analyzed. We also have the luck, if we can say the luck, to be awarded with 2 diplomas from these 2 events. And this you can see here, and it's the diploma for event number 2. And I think the particular thing is that you can find a QR code on this diploma. You could scan it, and it will bring you to the STARS blockchain network, where it has traced all the steps that brought us to this diploma. So from the deliverables to the judging phase and then to the awarding phase. So I believe this could perfectly resume all the things we have done during this second match. So I've been quite quick today, but first of all, I want to thank everyone in this room here today, and the people, of course, who aren't in this room, starting from the DTech Fair cluster, which brought us into the STARS world, and I think helped us understand how these technologies could improve not only our solutions as an SMEs, but also how to be able to deliver them to our clients. And of course, all the partners that helped us during the Hack and Match, OneSB, of course, with the blockchain, Open Tech City, which helped us with cybersecurity side of things in the number 2 Hack and Match, and then Technopark Istanbul, which helped us with the artificial intelligence in the 4th Hack and Match. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we turn into the lessons learned, although we've been already highlighting some of them previously, but just an overview. So from our side, we had this collection of the different lessons learned, but really targeted to encourage and to share with any cluster and any technological center or any similar organization who could implement these learnings that we've been collecting on this adoption of technology process. So that's how we that's how we wanted to present this now. So basically, the journey that we designed and we implemented has been already presented based on this online community as a baseline of interaction and onboarding of SMEs. Then we would come with the digital maturity assessment filled by SMEs. We have the training and upskilling program platform allowed for them. The local and international workshops that were carried out as well to really define the local and collect the local and transnational needs to tackle and address as tailored as possible, and tackle them through these technology adoption roadmaps offered by your tech experts to also allow them to match with the different tech savvies among industrial SMEs, manufacturing SMEs on these Hack for Restart and matchmaking events that we carried out as well. And finally, also with the business support provided by your technological clusters. So for this, we wanted to present Davide. He's been part of our magnificent, intense journey. So please, if you want to first introduce yourself.
Okay, sorry. Thank you to everybody. Yes, I am David Decas, and I am a participant of this project. Just 2 words about us. We start on the pandemic, so I have a big experience in like a manager in a big company, and during the pandemic, we start like a joke to print in 3D some device wearable to help the people to use mask. And this joke was very fun, very interesting. And in few months we sold a lot of device in every part of Europe. So we say, okay, we can do, and so we started to design project, to design object, device, and 6 months ago, or we apply to restart and start a beautiful journey together.
Perfect, thank you. David is going to interact throughout the different lessons learned, also to have the participant perspective on several of the activities that he's been participating in. So to start, to start with our journey somehow, basically the online community, which was performed and pushed thanks to Funding Box, our partners, the aim of this platform was to foster the collaboration, to have a single entry point and an onboarding tool online for SMEs, full of the different news, events, access to the training platform, access to the networking activities among all the content and activities that we've been generating. It has offered all these engagement activities, but unfortunately, it turned out to be a bit not that targeted for manufacturing SMEs who might seem sometimes hesitant to use all these full online formats actively. Despite that, what we suggested here was to, in future, carry out deeper stakeholder involvement and targeted strategies, keep on going with the online messages and the online engagement, because in the end it allows the flexibility to disseminate all the content that we generate, but still motivate and keep pushing the on-site events and these offline meetups with industry-specific seminars that can bridge this digital gap that we still might face. Also, regarding the online community, what was suggested was to keep this introduction to the online community. So support the user on this onboarding process, show its benefits, how the information is accessible from our side, and also ensure the data security measures that some SMEs might encounter as barriers. From the digital maturity assessment that we carried out, it was an improved tool that we had already experience with. We wanted to improve this tool and allow participants to make it, to assess or to fill the assessment more easily, although it's clearly a huge challenge. But yeah, in the end, it was an initial step on this technology adoption journey to allow and obtain data. The main drivers was to allow all the SMEs answer these assessment in each local language, which definitely helped on reaching them. Allowing the platform or have user-friendly features in the design of the platform, which also helped to go throughout the process, and also offering, it might be a bit basic, but offering a range of answers instead of asking for specific numbers also was a kind of driver to allow SMEs to show you, provide this data. It's probably their basic features, but there are some drivers that to take into consideration once you want to gather these data. Despite that, we also had different barriers, as you might know. The number of questions, although being reduced, it still was encountered as a barrier. So in the end, it ended up for some SMEs to be a long process. And the ability, as we already mentioned, of the similar or close digital assessments was also a barrier encountered also in the dissemination process of this assessment. But from the other side, and further improvements to be applied, address all these participation barriers that we have encountered and listed, such as avoid the mandatory registration process that we encountered, then also continue providing guidance and support. As you already highlight from the STARS perspective, direct contact, direct calls, direct personal interviews to fill this assessment and gather all the relevant data is key here, but also resource consuming. But clusters seem to not have enough probably, but to have these personal resources, and this is key as enablers of the support that SMEs need on this adoption of technology process. And also consider other formats and tools, although this is a very interesting tool, but to avoid this resistance in filling questionnaires that we might encounter. Then on the training platform seemed to be pretty successful in terms of content, in terms of format and flexibility. We divided by digital maturity levels the different content accessible for SMEs, and by sector specific. Although we have the huge manufacturing sector as target users, there's still sectors divisions. So it was also interesting for them to have these. And basically, it was a good tool to raise awareness and knowledge on the Industry 0.5 concepts. It seems to be an adequate process followed from the identification of SME needs in terms of training, in terms of upskilling and reskilling. And we carried out these workshops previously to identify what exactly were the trends, what exactly were the training needs that we could include in our program. Some barriers further than the platform itself were maybe the lack or the reluctance of change of this business transformation. Like, this is one of the main barriers of not just for training, but in general as encountered. Language and culture of organization also have an impact on participation. And also a lack of direct perceived tangible benefit on accessing on this training and spending this time and this effort and these resources sometimes. But despite that, we encourage to keep promoting and using, for example, our platform, which is completely available and full of really interesting content. So we encourage to our clusters, but also associated and external clusters to use our platform because it's on date. Also, we recommend this long-term follow-up on the implementation of the knowledge, because it's quite challenging to evaluate the impact, the long-term impact of all of these activities. But I think it's essential also to engage and carry out this follow-up. Also carry out one-to-one interviews, which clusters all again comes to highlight their relevance here. And also in terms of format, it seemed to be that synchronous one-day activities, such as workshops carried out, seem to be the most efficient to have manufacturing SMEs engaged. Then establish enough resources and efforts, of course, needs to be there. Then we have these local and transnational workshops. This was key to validate our guessings in the needs that manufacturing SMEs might encounter in these uptake of advanced technologies. They were local and regional, which also was very relevant to divide the recurring needs by region, and we could identify which were like the regional differences and highlight. There was a methodology defined for these, and it was very interesting to see how, although having a common framework which helped each cluster to carry out these workshops, the flexibility to adapt the format, to adapt the language, to adapt the different contextual and regional factors helped them to improve and have these workshop ongoing. Then also the transnational perspective exchange was very beneficial in those terms to validate that although the different regional differences, there's a common framework to work with. So as recommendations on these lessons learned, on these experiences, is to establish this continuous dialogue on these follow-up sessions further than the workshops already carried out as clusters follow-ups. And then keep contrasting the initial topics defined, because, you know, technology is an ongoing process. It changed the trends constantly. So clusters needs to be here also key, and technological centers, of course, as well, to be up to date and to offer SMEs these support on the new ongoing advances. And then the allowance from the proposal that we had to adjust the topics based on the real needs on time also really helped to establish and perform these local and transnational workshops. Then the technology adoption roadmap, a very high quality level and tool for SMEs to identify their solutions and to promote the synergies and the connections between manufacturing SMEs and tech savvies. It's been a challenging tool to be implemented, because although being really high level and with a high quality, it's challenging to involve the staff on the process. Not all SMEs have clearly a role defined or a role responsible for this digitalization process. So there was indeed a lack of skilled staff or availability from these decision makers on the manufacturing SMEs availability to get involved in and on board in this roadmap process. Despite that, we tried as much as we can and with all our efforts to adapt the technical assistance provided, which has been a key to make us flexible, accessible in terms of time, format, and process. And we were wondering outside the framework of this project, how sustainable is this adaptation, like despite all the intentions. And then also, of course, addressing the local needs in terms of language issues culturally. So we were two external technological centers providing this expertise, but we needed somehow to engage the clusters to provide in terms of language, in terms of a local culture, this understanding mutually for SME needs, which was key for that. Then in terms of recommendations, the adaptation of the expert support, of course, is a key. Avoiding the lack of interest. So sometimes we felt we were trying to sell something. We were not software salespersons. We are technology experts. We want to help you. So really address and get into a common ground, into a same level of expertise. Like the manufacturing SMEs, it's the expert on their sector. We're just here to help you. So having this common understanding might help SMEs to not see to see the relevance and the benefits of these type of tools. Then also the output of this document is alive. The idea is to regularly update it. So also to have this iterative approach and discourse with SMEs is very important. Approach, of course, as I mentioned before, the diversity of profiles throughout the process, not just the decision makers, but the operators, the technicians, as much as possible, for everybody to understand in the cultural organization how this can benefit the SME. Also, informal meetings have increased the understanding approaches I was just mentioning, and to highlight the relevance or the importance to become part of the ecosystem. So these clusters and technological centers offer different types of stakeholders that can help on implementing the solutions, such as providing tech-savvy, local tech-savvy or regional tech-savvy providers, and on other stakeholders that can help out on implementation of these technologies. So this ecosystem relevance is also important to be highlighted. And here on the Hack for Restart SME and matchmaking events is where I wanted to ask directly. As it's already been introduced, we had carried out 5 Hack for Restart SME events. So basically, it's an innovative, or we aim to have an innovative event for SMEs to bridge these alliances, to bridge this matchmaking, and encourage SMEs to debate and to define their challenges and, of course, fulfill their needs in Industry 5.0. So I'd say, although there's a list of lessons learned and experiences and recommendations that we have, I think it's better valuable to let Davide explain his experience here.
Okay. Well, for me, the Hack for Restart, so the Hack match that we did, I participated to the match in Torino, was very interesting because the small company, small enterprise can understand and know more knowledge from the supplier. So there is an ecosystem, like said before, an ecosystem between customers and supplier. So have the opportunity to change this vision and put together some small company with very different experience together. I think is very good because yes, with a focus like you propose on the deck, the results was very good, and is very good to go ahead together to do something more. And yes, the ideas are the very engine of a small enterprise. So is a melting pot of ideas like that is the only way to go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Davide. So basically, that was the main idea, to come together with different types of SMEs, organization, and get this challenge on board and address and see and explore all the different possibilities that we have with these advanced technologies. And then last but not least, all the business support which has been essential, provided by our 5 clusters, based on different wide range of bottom-up driven services, such as access to public and private funding, which is one of the most important expectations that SMEs might have and need, of course. But further than that, the provision of venture capital and different investment options, the definition of digital business models. We haven't talked much, but also this change of the support on all of these transition, especially coming from traditional SMEs. It's very highlighted and needs to be supported by clusters, by all the different organizations here. And then all the understanding the different results of the tools that we have been implementing also has been key. As lessons learned, and as it's been repeated, direct and personal company is the most valued. It's the most added value that SMEs encounter to address their needs. Despite that, there's a time consumption to understand the project needs, because in the end, each SME is an entire world and involve this business and technical perspective, and you need time to understand them. But it's one of the privilege sometimes to be able to offer real solutions and targeted solutions. And of course, align them with the funding opportunities available. So funding opportunities are hard to understand sometimes for SMEs. So clusters can also make this translation and target those important ones. And basically, it's just quick recommendations on these business support to address the targeted and proper communication tools, have portals and programs accessible for the different wide range ecosystems. Also, the business support, of course, provides this added value that we were just talking about, because sometimes these SMEs might not have a department or this role that requires expertise, time, and knowledge to implement new types of projects, especially new digital and green projects. Also, raise the awareness and importance, as Davide just mentioned, of being part of an ecosystem and see what's going on. And also, wondering that we had is this short-term versus long-term planning, because most of this transformation needs long-term strategies. So align this with the different funding, with the different mechanisms that you are providing, is very relevant to take into account how on their daily schedule impacts. So from my side, I wanted to also raise 2 questions. Feel free, Davide, to answer them. But how did you encounter these added value? What was the added value of advanced technology implementation that we've been providing through our project, and what needs were not covered, unfortunately, in those terms?
Okay, thank you, Natalia, for this question. So, added value. This experience, I can take my experience with the project. for me, it was very important to understand the movement of Industry 5.0, because if I think about Industry 5.0, I think, okay, but and half of my supplier are in Industry 3.0. So we have to talk about 5. Why? No, but it's very important because the Industry 4.0 is coming, and European Union do very important things in this direction. But we are. I talk for the little, the very small business company, enterprise, manufacturing. So we are involved in a very revolution, in a business revolution. So we are moving by the product to the service in a very everywhere you can see this moving, and for do that we need to design new products. The designers like me have a big job in the next years to design every job, to share job, to a products more cleanable, for example, to possible to share between their own. For do that, we have to put the sensor everywhere and to use cybersecurity, AI, and all the stuff that in the Industry 5.0 request. So I think this is the added value. And the second question, what needs during your technology adoption process are not covered?
Exactly, for all of these that you encourage or you want to do, what do you need? Right?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Davide.
Thank you.
So basically, here's a collection of the overall learnings, but in the end, like, we wanted to stress that the methodology was very, very complete, intense to support all the different types of needs that we encountered from the manufacturing sector. Although numbers were really hard to reach, considering manufacturing SMEs and contextual factors that have been encountered and mentioned before. So I think from my side, do I have time enough for?
Well, yeah, I can.
A smooth transition over into the policy recommendations, right? Thank you.
Yes. From operations to policy, let's see what we can try to improve. So, according to our experience, does it work? Yeah, it works. Okay, sorry. No. Okay, some chapters. The first is named the continuity, okay, because we are at the end of a journey, but we would like, to continue or to give suggestions to the ones that after 2 pilot projects could make this tool stable. So the first is revise the action on strategic alliances in order to ensure continuity and efficiency, okay. First recommendation is for the European Commission, DG GROW directly. So first, very concrete in case of possible continuity of our projects and other similar, minimum duration of 3 years should be absolutely useful, because we, as I said, not struggled, but it was hard to reach the very moment where we could start to make the change for the SMEs, okay? And this happened in the year 2023, this one, okay? The more than 1 year plus was used to work it out and refine and revise and fine tune. So this would be important. Also because under Horizon Europe, a similar call was launched some months ago. I'm lucky enough to be in the new project that will implement it, and that call has a duration of 3 years. So this is at least the good time, the good length. Another recommendation for DG GROW, cascade funding model. So at least to consider to include, because of a longer, no, not at all. Okay, thank you, bye, ciao. No, I tell you just why, or at least we can make it, okay? But the idea is, this was also stressed by Natalia. There is a kind of time mismatch in terms of strategies from the companies, but also to bring the new use cases and the new solutions down on earth, okay? If we can reduce this time mismatch between the identification of solutions in the hack and match, hack and restart, and so on, and when this idea on slides, the use case can become an innovative feature, this is good for European competitiveness.
Just can we open the floor? So no, this is, thank you very much. And this is actually what we are looking for. And we will talk also to our colleagues from DG GROW together. And they are really keen on having cascading fund models because, just to be open and transparent, it's very easy to provide like feedback to the politicians. Oh, we found so many SMEs, Unfortunately, from the implementation point of view, it's way more complicated, because if you are doing the cascading fund, then nobody from consortia can offer the service. Because you cannot pay the SME somehow to be paid by the SME, because of course this is no profit and so on. So this complicates a lot, because usually the consortia that won the call for proposal are the best ones with the best capacities. So you are going to probably, the service will be provided not from the best one. B, it will be provided by your competitors. So there are some problems there. Another thing is that there is a lot of burden on the consortia and on SMEs, meaning that consortia are the responsible on how the SMEs are implementing, meaning also which SMEs, for example, selecting, are these SMEs completely with zero criminal records or not? You have to follow EU law and national law. And if you're international, transnational consortia can be, if there is a little partner that is doing that in a country, that how they are doing there. And that's it. Just heads up. On the other side, also for the SMEs, they need to keep the track for up to 5 years for the audit in case of the audit. And it's really, really not nice to go after an SME that got, 10,000 euros to do a little project and they have to give back the money. Even if they did it. So yes, cascading funds are very good, but it depends how they are used. So for training, it's our experience, and it's really like experience of my sector and of SMEs. They are good if they are like for something. You have like Elite Project or Worf. Yeah, it's just but because they give the money to like 2 companies to do a project together. that's cool. That's nice. And that's, they have to do. But for training, consulting, capacity building, not really. Also, we cannot use vouchers in the cascading funds, but like lump sums. So then the control of the consortia over what SMEs do is not really easy. So yes, to be considered, but very carefully planned, because otherwise it.
Thank you very much. Very concrete. The idea, I think, also from Sandra's point of view, is to have something that you said to match together, so to make it possible for the SMEs that develop the solutions in the hackathons or with the technology centers, because you wanted us to make them meet with the tech-savvy SMEs. And you know what the tech-savvy SMEs ask us at the end of the hackathon? Okay, good. And now, don't they ask, can we sell, okay, the solution to the challenger, okay, and now, okay, and we say, yes, okay, please continue to make meetings between you. In the meantime, us as clusters, we'll try to find a call somewhere, regional level, national level, European level, but again, European level, with the traditional SMEs, I want to tell them, oh, go to the EIC accelerator. It's not the breakthrough innovation you are financing, okay? So the fact is that if we remain for the level of improvement we can ignite through the adoption of advanced technologies for certain solutions, probably the regional and national levels are the right ones. But maybe they don't fund the collaboration between a Tuscany-based SME with the French one. So this is
a very welcome suggestion. And you can also suggest to your regional national governments to give more money to EU so that we can actually give to the SMEs. No, it was a little bit provocative, but the budget of the entire European Union is 1% of the GDP of each country. 1%, it's 1% of your brutto salary. You understand? To run the whole Europe, it's 1%. Okay, there are, of course, or kind of other governments, regional, local, national. So we are on top of the top, and it's very difficult to go and explain people back at home, not even my grandma, my mom, or my brother even, what I'm doing in Brussels sometimes, because they get confused. There are so many layers, and what in parliamentary elections next year and so on. But that's what you said exactly. There are a lot of, maybe what we should be able to do, it's more this, and it's more on us than on you, to foster the collaboration between the fundings that are done at the European level and what is available at the regional, local, and national level, because there's way more money available at that level. And so what you said, it's not maybe per each region, but when you put all together, because then actually we can do the economies of scope, or in other words, the Europe does what Europe is there for. So not going in developing the Tuscany region, but developing Tuscany region because benefits from somewhere else that it was there around Europe. So putting people in contact. But then actually regions and national governments foster and push forward the development there, because at that point also becomes a question of the market. Otherwise, it's a state subsidiary. So, I know very well how SMEs work. I grew up in Veneto region, and I did my PhD on the internationalization of traditional SMEs. So I have like very 360 experience, and I know the entrepreneurs still forever will try to get money for free. That's their job. But at some point, if they are acquiring resources, it's investment. So at some point, they have also to invest it, and it's not the state that should invest too much. It's in a way, I don't think that we have many entrepreneurs here inside today, but it's in a way also what the message that our projects should somehow transmit to the SMEs. The one participating to the project must be ready. This is the first step. Then they have to go alone. They cannot expect us to buy them computers.
this is giving me the idea, one idea that I didn't put on slides, but can we, for instance, because we can ensure for the quality of the ideas and the solutions developed during the hacking match, because we were both expert tutors or animation tutors, and we co-developed. It was a very good open innovation. So maybe a kind of at least label of quality. So a kind of acknowledgement that the process that brought to such a solution can be, for its quality, can be taken into consideration. Because otherwise, when my company goes to an open call at the Tuscany region is following smart specialization strategies, priorities, and so on. Maybe they have other priorities, and maybe what they did at this level is not rewarded. This could be something nice. So maybe a kind of, I don't know.
Sorry for jeopardizing a little bit. Maybe there with cascading fund or as a feedback, but we will work on this from video. But actually to make it like to reflect also the discussion, what we had in some other projects, it was some kind of seal of excellence. Yeah. So companies that do something and that they are really doing, they get the seal of excellence, and then actually it's picked by regional or other funds that will favor, somehow give extra points for companies that have already been there and somehow shown that they are serious companies. So this can be something. Sorry.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, really. Okay, then let's go to, accessibility to technologies. Okay, so the idea, the example, as I said, the experience is that with blockchain, it was so easy because it was so high TRL, and everyone now in STARS is adopting blockchain. So, we would like the same to happen also for other technologies, and then there is a but. So for a smoother and faster application of advanced technologies, maybe considering, this is for member states and European regions, the creation of pilot lines, on the territories in order to better support learning on a technology at a higher level of sophistication than in laboratories, because this may reduce the adoption risks, because this risk cannot go on the heads of the SMEs. Again, the benchmark is our experience that made a technology as more tangible as possible. One recommendation for the European Commission, member states, and European regions, it is about IT and OT cybersecurity, because yes, so we push adoption of advanced technologies, but the more digital you are, the more risks you take, and the IT and security mindset in the more traditional SMEs is not ready for this. At the same time, we know, according to all the analysis and studies of European Commission and JRC, that EU is a leader for robotics, advanced manufacturing, and IoT, but lags behind in cybersecurity and cloud. And everything all around is based on cloud. We are giving our data to Americans. All the tech-savvy SMEs we scouted that are, for instance, offering platforms, AI-based platforms that are giving valuable services are all cloud. So on the one side, it is easy access, but at the same time, it opens up risks. And SMEs are not ready to fully understand if they can trust or not. So I don't know what to do, but I just raise an alert. So this has to be fixed somehow, somewhere. And then the skills are key, because we are humans. And in this case, we need to upskill both the class organizations and the technology centers, Recommendation for European Commission DG GROW, I would invite you to consider a subset of the Cluster Excellence program specific on building skills that I may call business and technology. So we need, as cluster managers, all to learn how to translate a technological knowledge that we have raised during the project implementation into a language, into a business language. Because what I didn't know at the beginning was to find use cases for my companies. And now I can go to each of my companies, look in them and say, yo, you can do this, you could do that, and you could do that. And this is a super booster. If this can be massified in the European clusters community, this should be great. And because, as you said, we are agents of change for the twin transition. Also, a subset of the Cluster Excellence Program dedicated to helping SMEs develop circular business models. This is for the green transition part. And let me say that the ECCP 2 years ago launched a pilot initiative that was really good. It was towards green transition facility. As DTEC, we participated and benefited, but still it remains somehow, let me say, there. Here the benchmark, in our opinion, is the train the trainers on circular business models of the climate kick. So this is great because you train the cluster managers to help the SMEs being able to identify concretely business models that are not help them to go green, but they, first of all, create value that is money, okay? You go green and earn more. There is an example, for instance, of British Sugar that before going with the circular business model, of course, all the revenues were from sugar. Now, 50% is from sugar, 50% is from the recovery and reuse of the waste of the sugar production. Okay, so this is the opportunity that also we need to embrace. So for the European regions, probably that's the best level. Engage in promote mutual upskilling between regional cluster managers and technology centers. Regional cluster managers can teach the tech centers to use the right language with the SMEs, and at the same time, we learn advanced technologies, and the vice versa. We teach the technology centers to use the right language and to build more trust when they engage with the SMEs, okay? Because maybe technology centers are more used to work with large companies, but this is another story. SMEs are quite peculiar. And now I leave the floor to Matteo Vannucchi for the part dedicated to recommendations from the point of view of technology centers.
I will present the last two recommendations on behalf of my colleague Silvia Brate, who is not here today. The first one is very, very practical. So when we are talking about R&D centers, we are talking of something that is not defined in the same way in all European countries. So the rules to be considered R&D centers may change from one country to another. And these can be very relevant on how these R&D centers have access to opportunities, to funding schemes, and so on. So the idea is to promote an EU direct to harmonize the rules on definition on R&D centers. Also because these will have an impact and is having an impact on the amount of the commercial activities that these R&D centers can carry on daily basis. Because sometimes in order to be considered R&D centers, they try to limit the activities they carry on with SMEs. So this is a way to improve the collaboration between SMEs and R&D centers. The last one is a very high-level recommendation, starting from a very, again, practical problem that emerged a lot also today from both projects. The idea is that, I mean, we can provide SMEs with studies, support, technology roadmaps, and also accompany them in finding the best suppliers, the best technology, and so on. This is something that we are already doing. The point is that then at a certain point, they have to start implementing all these actions. They have the need to carry on by themselves. And this is the problem, because sometimes, very often, I would say, this is not happening. Again, both projects faced more or less the same problem. There's a general shortage of skilled personnel at almost every level, especially when we are talking about new emerging disruptive technologies. And the proposal that we are launching out to different stakeholders, maybe the European regions or European Commission, it depends, is that we can try to build something that is helping these companies in tackling these problems, in have skilled personnel helping them on a stable basis to carry on these new technologies, to carry on and implement these advanced technologies. Of course, we are not proposing to reinvent the wheel. We are aware of the fact that there are many other initiatives running on today. For example, in the last 2 days, we were talking a lot about the European Digital Innovation Apps. Many of us, for example, are involved in this kind of initiative. The issue is that these initiatives are usually running on a very limited time frame. And when they are starting to have traction, usually they end. So it could be useful to have something that maybe starting from a specific vertical, a specific disruptive technology could run on a longer and more stable way. That's it.
That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have come now to our last session. So we are still at recommendation. My name is Daniel Koșniță from the Romanian Cluster Association, part of ReStartSMEs. So we have seen that both projects have come mainly to the same conclusions, and we will not repeat now, but we would like to ask your opinion. And also we thank the onliners who are joining us, and this QR code that has been presented, we will show it again. We would like to ask you some questions, in order to have some input also from you to what we have presented. So if we are to summarize the recommendations, First, we have this non-financial support. Yes, always we want money. We have talked about money, but there are so many projects and programs also of the European Union and Enterprise Europe Network, for example, and the European Cluster Collaboration Platform are outstanding examples, both of them. And also the head of unit has mentioned them in the beginning. So these are very good non-financial support for SMEs in terms of innovation, internationalization, digitalization, green transition, and so on. So this non-financial support is somehow neglected, and this should be somehow enhanced. So you see here the QR code. If you want to play with us a little bit later, please join. Okay, so yes, then of course, financing. Financing is a hot topic. Is the more as in the discussions already. Very interesting grants, but now in the current period there is also the possibility of at least in the regional funds to combine the financing, maybe not only grants as you have mentioned, the entrepreneurs want money for free, but maybe the financial instruments are also an option, but then we have to be careful how we combine this. So this combined financing should be further elaborated, and also the financing should target really the SMEs needs. So we have the examples example, in Romania, I can give you the example that we are often, or SMEs are often in the position that they somehow have to change the way they describe in a project or the need because it does not fit. And this is something, I mean, we should start now to discuss for the next period, so that, the financing period, so that really the financing fits the needs of the SME. Okay, then the capacity development, it has already been discussed thoroughly. I would like to also, because I'm also speaking pro domo for the clusters, the role of clusters, of generator of value chains, and useful tools in enhancing innovation, internationalization of SMEs, and also acting as agents of change for the dual transition. I think we all agree to this, but for this, the clusters need some skill upskilling, so some capacity development, must be measures must be somehow thought more thoroughly, and why not an idea that from our colleagues from STARS. So these competence centers, maybe clusters could build some competence centers. Okay, we have to discuss a little bit what this means. So not to create some ivory towers again, but maybe this is an idea about this competence. These clusters really get competent, and also the tech centers, of course. Then the integration in the innovation ecosystems. This is another block of recommendations. I mean, it is obvious that in isolation there can be no innovation. This is also clear. So somehow SMEs must be integrated in the innovation ecosystem. And for this, there are several also other instruments like the European Digital Innovation Hub, again, the clusters and all kind of other networks. And also here comes also the role of the regional players. We are here in the Committee of Regions, so the regions also must play get a little bit more entrepreneurial, and to support the integration of the SMEs into the regional innovation ecosystems. Policy and mechanism have been already discussed. I will not insist. Maybe this synergy, again, this synergy between it is often that the category of costs, for example, in Digital Europe do not fit with the category of costs in the ERDF. So things like that, maybe this is, we have this problem now with the national co-financing, for example, for the European Digital Innovation Hubs, which has to be, this is a small example, but in general, this alignment of the different initiatives. So capacity, we had non-financial support, financial support, capacity development, integration into the regional innovation ecosystem, and policy recommendations. And now let's play a game. We would like to ask you to play with us. So we will ask some questions, and you can write your answers, and then maybe we can comment on some beautiful ideas that you have, because we also have to, we have to validate our work, and also we have to ensure that our projects are sustainable, so that the sustainability plan really has measures that can be implemented also by us beyond the lifetime of the project that we are running. So, well, how are you feeling today? So I'm a little bit tired, for example. So for example, I would put here the medium one, but everybody is, I think everybody is happy. You see how I influenced? You see, I'm not allowed. As a moderator, this is a big mistake. I'm not allowed to do this. No? Yeah, you see? Okay. So I will not say anything. So for the ones who have not joined yet, you can still scan the QR code, and I just moderating, no? Okay. Good. Next question. Yes. So you, which type of organization are you representing? It's interesting to know what distribution we have here. So also cluster organization, like networks, please also refer as clusters, no? here you have more. If you down, you have also other, and yeah, you can scroll down in your now, because this is a little bit. Yes. Okay, clusters 50%. Yeah, but we are very impressed that we have manufacturing SMEs. Please raise your hand. Who are the manufacturing SMEs? Yes. So maybe the gentleman, maybe you can shortly present you, and online. Yes, but maybe you can shortly present what company you represent. And
so I'll sit at the back, keeping quiet and keeping out of trouble, which is unusual for me. So this is a great opportunity. So I'm Stephen from Telesetra, and I put manufacturing, but we have a software company and cybersecurity company. We help businesses all over the world try to digitize and secure their operations. I was really pleased to see, Veronica, you just said just now about we're giving our data to the Americans. People don't understand cloud, just don't understand cybersecurity. So I also am a director of Midlands Cyber, which is the West Midlands cybersecurity cluster in the UK. In the UK, we have 15 cybersecurity clusters, all regional. And I was talking to Lutz earlier, and hopefully we can do a Berlin Midlands cyber cluster meetup. So anybody else interested in cybersecurity across Europe, across the world, please come and speak to me later. I'd be delighted to talk to you. So thank you. I'll now be quiet. That's enough from me. Thank you.
yeah, which country are you joining us from? Okay, even if you are here, you are not joining from Belgium. So please, yes, please tell us which country you are representing, and the onliners, yes.
Yeah, Italy.
Oh, there are also some Romanians which onliners which don't play. This is how I get, you know, this is not good. Yeah, so this is not good. So we have also from Serbia. Is it here or it's online? Huh? We have here. Yes. Yeah, maybe you say something because we are.
Because you're from Serbia.
No problem. It's my pleasure. I'm Marko Radovic, and I'm one of the cluster managers of QA cluster for Southeast Europe. We were a partner on the STARS project, and we work as a cluster. We are a regional cluster which covers several countries of what we call now Western Balkans. So Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia, Macedonia, Serbia, and Montenegro, and North Macedonia and Montenegro. So this was STARS project was a very interesting project for us because we have a lot of traditional SMEs. Our SMEs are traditional in the railway sector, and it was very important to get them to follow newest trends in the current developments in the industry itself. So as I said, this was a very interesting project for us and very important. So it was our pleasure to participate on it.
Thank you very much. I see. Recommendation, in your opinion? Yeah. Okay, so financial support is the most important one. Then the integration into the innovation ecosystem. Wow. So the ranking is changed, ladies and gentlemen. Cast your last votes. Still active. Ah.
Oh, who changed?
Okay, so financial support, yeah, okay. I'm very sad that you have not selected non-financial, but because, okay, I'm very fond of non-financial, this ACCP and Enterprise Europe Network, this that have, I think it's a need also to make more communication about this non-financial support. But okay, so financial support you consider the most important, but then the integration into the innovation ecosystem, capacity development, the policy, and last but not least, I would say the non-financial support. The next question is, okay, now we are here, all of us, the projects, the commission, the clusters, the enterprises, yeah? Okay, we need some funding to do the networks, the strategic alliance, but what could we do? I mean, from all this, can you come back to this? No? Yeah, can you come back? So to this, yes, to the efficiency. So for all this, yeah, how would you rank this from an efficiency point of view? I mean, okay, maybe let me give an example. If I want to have a castle in Spain, yeah, this is very important for me, but I will not be able to achieve this. So this, I mean, where we can do something, really do something with our power. So which is the most efficient, where we have to concentrate our efforts. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where really we that us that are here could do something in our networks, in our organizations, yeah, to change something without getting money from the European Commission. So by our efforts, by our networks, where would we be the most efficient? Okay, so you consider this is very interesting. Maybe somebody wants to comment shortly about the integration to innovation ecosystem. Why you think we could be the most efficient in doing this? Somebody who maybe ranked 1 at this. Shy. Silvana, what have you ranked?
I knew you were gonna call me. I was like, well, actually, from my cluster perspective, we're based in Piedmont in Italy. We're already well integrated in the ecosystem as a cluster, and we work a lot with our ecosystem. So we work with the other cluster within the region. We try to, and what we do is mainly try to attract the SMEs, especially, but all the actors, and continue, putting them into networking, creating relationships, analyzing what are the needs, what clusters do. We have been working, the good thing, like we've been working like that in the ecosystem for 20 years now. So maybe that's why for us, I was actually voting more on capacity development, for instance, because where we were talking about today, all the part of getting as clusters, but also support the companies in getting the skills that they need in order to be able to be more competitive and innovative and etc. And understand what are the next steps to take. We're always talking about resiliency and be always prepared and let's say stay in the market and stay, which is I think the main scope of SMEs. Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, everybody has said something, has ranked something. Yeah, for the measure that you have ranked, yeah, the highest. What could we do? What is to you the first step that must be taken? Just tell us. Just throw your beautiful ideas into the, yeah, you've ranked financing. What is the first step? We go out of here, what must we do next week? You ranked capacity, or yeah, non-financial, policy, innovation ecosystem. What is your idea, the first step? Okay, so you have a lot. I would like to ask, if somebody can comment on this streamline of procedures, maybe. Yes.
The problem, as for, oh, sorry, yes. So my name is Bernard Piet. I'm the managing director of Logistics in Wallonia, which is a transport, logistics, and mobility clusters in Wallonia, Belgium. So we were part of the STARS project. The issue for companies is the procedure when they have to get financing for research and development projects. We know that the European Union has made some efforts also to simplify some procedure, but we are not there yet. And that's the main issue for companies who want to access finance, if they want to foster development. Of course, it's public money. Of course, there should be some guarantees that the money will be utilized in the right way. But nevertheless, we are not arrived yet on the right streamlining of these kind of procedures.
Know and test the ecosystem. Maybe somebody wants to comment.
Me.
You.
I was realizing that I'm not considering, because I'm so used to cooperate on a daily basis with these CERs around Europe that I'm not engaged so much with regional, stakeholders of the innovation ecosystem. And my first reaction, I said, but are they really ready with their tools and their capacities to be the ones we tried to describe today? Okay, so no, yes, and then test, because now we know more, we know better what our SMEs need. So we are in a good position to test if this capacity exists.
And
only
who pays for this testing? Who pays for this testing?
I can invest.
Okay. Yes. So every idea is we have education in all forms, share of best practices, making ourselves visible, communication, so on. Please, please.
Very much. Just a small comment on streamlining things. And I'm going to bring hope. Oh, sorry. Yes. Good afternoon. My name is Manuel. I think I've presented myself this morning, but I do it again. I work for Europe's Rail Joint Undertaking, and I will be the project officer for the LEADER 2030 project. And I would like to share with you that you have pointed out a very interesting issue. And I want to kind of give good news to you because there is like a grant agreement model, which is the lump sum, which is going to streamline a lot all the admin process. And I strongly recommend you to look at it. It's not big deal. You got this like 10 pages. You're going to have a look. It's like an easy presentation. And the main change, although, is that at the beginning it's going to be very, very easy for you, but you need to change pace, because now if you go to lump sum, it is the result. What are you delivering? So it's not like you burn hours and you log all the admin records to justify you have burnt hours. It's like we say now, we are not longer interested in you burning hours. We trust you. So you say, my budget is this. We trust you. Long amendments, because now this is going to be done by this. No, forget about amendments, unless you want them to be recorded. So if there is any consortium issue, the amendment is there. But if you get along well, then amendments are cut down very much. But the focus is the output. So if you don't reach the output, so overselling now it can be a killer for you. So you need to consider where you are, et cetera, et cetera. So in that sense, I think it's quite a challenging opportunity. So it's like zero streamlining, no records, no audit. The thing, what can be audited is the result. So if you say we will deliver rubber wheels, if you deliver a wooden wheel, you don't get paid. And if you get paid, an audit comes out and they ask for the wheel and you put a wooden wheel, you may have an issue. But all the effort you had, all the accounting effort, all the paperwork pushing up and down the financial officer, the financial statements, the audits and so on and so forth, that's over. Which I think for SMEs can really help them focus a lot in what they're going to deliver. The only thing is managing cash flow. It's important for you to know that you're going to be paid once the work package is delivered. So you better think your product strategy. So you put work packages along so you can live through the project. But it's thought to mainly for SMEs and to be able to access these funds, because it is understood that the overhead can be high otherwise.
Yeah, thank you very much for. Not say that we have not asked you. So we have one, when we finish our sustainability reports, we will rely on what you have said to us. Now, as in weddings, if somebody has something to say, now say, or forever keep his and her peace. So one final statement from you, a word, a slogan, something, an advice. Yeah, very, very short. If you have something for us. Yeah, if not, that means that we are perfect. Just 1 minute. Maybe 1 minute. Yeah, also some critics. I mean, not only
moderating, right?
Yeah. Okay, as you keep on writing, because this is still open, thank you very much. So we should continue. I mean, this is this is not continuation. You have started by this, we have to continue. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I hope this was interesting and also fun. And now I give back, we have still some.
Yes.
Yes. We have some videos for you.
Right, indeed. So now, after this very interactive session, thank you, Daniel, for that, because I think we did have some really nice discussions, and that'll bring us further. We actually do have some statements from some also very important people from this non-financial support organizations that we were able to get some statements from. They weren't unfortunately able to join us, but we would like to show some statements from them really quick. So do bear with us for this, because I think it'll be, of course, very interesting and good to hear them. The first one is from Anke Wiegand. She's from the Enterprise Europe Network and from the Supply Chain Resilience Platform.
Hello, everybody. My name is Anke Wiegand. I'm the coordinator of the Enterprise Europe Network in Berlin and Brandenburg. I'm very happy that I was invited by Lutz Hübner, my colleague at Berlin Partner in the mobility unit, to contribute to today's exchange of the STARS project with a short video. Because we found out that we have one common area of interest, which is the topic of resilience. And Lutz asked me to explain to you some activities that we are carrying out in the Enterprise Europe Network in this area. So, what do we mean when we talk about resilience for SMEs? I engaged myself as co-chair together with my Greek colleague Katerina Tsitsino from the Enterprise Europe Network in Greece, in Thessaloniki, since last summer in a task force on resilience that was initiated by DG GROW from the European Commission. And here we see 4 main areas where SMEs are impacted by disruptions or unforeseen situations that have an enormous influence on their daily business activities. And these 4 areas are the social and economic situation in their business environment, the digitization of their business, including cybersecurity issues, the green transformation that we are all going through in these days, and the geopolitical situation. And we see the need that we strengthen the capability of SMEs to continue to operate in the face of these substantial challenges that we experience in our days, to maintain the business and the activities of SMEs. We also see the need that we need to strengthen the ability to withstand disruptions and catastrophic events. If you think about the floods in Italy and in Greece that we have seen in the last months, it had an enormous impact also on the infrastructure in these regions, namely also the railway infrastructures. And I think here becomes evident that we have a common topic, a common area where we need to engage ourselves to support SMEs. But resilience for SMEs for us in the EN also means the ability to sustain income and to develop the spirit of social duty in these times, to overcome cultural and social barriers. And to sum up, for an SME, resilient means an holistic approach in their strategic business planning that incorporates social and economic, green, digital and geopolitical aspects. And all in all, resilience for SMEs means to us the ability to survive, to adapt and to thrive despite challenges. After 1 year of engagement in the task force of resilience in the Enterprise Europe Network, my colleague Katarina, me, and very dedicated and engaged groups of experienced colleagues found out key priorities that we would like to follow up in the next months to come. And it are that we need to become better in foresight for SMEs. The annual conference of the EN network is ahead of us, and this topic will be on the agenda of the conference. We need to strengthen the supply chains. We need to continue supply chains, and we need to avoid disruptions. Here, the partnering services of the Enterprise Europe Network, namely the supply chain platform that has been inaugurated immediately after the outbreak of the Russian aggression against the Ukraine, plays a crucial role. But supply chain disruptions also occur due to the consequences of the COVID pandemic situation and due to natural disasters that I already mentioned, the floods, the fires in South Europe, and earthquakes in our areas that really destroy a lot of infrastructures that SMEs need to continue their business activities. Another crucial topic is the energy supply for SMEs. Here we are engaged to find solutions to support SMEs to continue their activities, and for all these needs we also need appropriate financial instrument, good ways for SMEs to access to finance, to be supported for situations, for bottleneck situations that they need to overcome. So these were the findings of the Enterprise Europe Network. I do hope that they will give you some food for thoughts. I wish you a very intensive exchange and much support for the results of the STARS project. See you next time.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Thanks for invitation to the organization, and very glad to join you, even if it is online. It's a pity that I cannot be with you there. I will introduce some ideas of what we are doing from ECA, the European Cluster Alliance, on lesson learned and policy recommendation of the topic that you are covering in this project. So let's go. First of all, what are we? Okay, who are we? The European Cluster Alliance is a pan-European federation of networks of clusters, meta networks. You know that industrial cluster joins mostly businesses, but also entities from the public sector or research center, universities, and so on. We are joining 22 national associations of clusters and vertical networks that concurrently add near 900 clusters organizations in Europe. That means near 150,000 different businesses and entities collaborating through our networks. And we have a strong commitment with the European policies. We are participating in several expert groups. Perhaps you know about the Industrial Forum, that we will speak about it because it's the main forum for industrial policies. And today we are speaking about that topic in this session. But for your information, we are recently joined the community of practice of Industry 5.0. It is also very relevant for you. So we have a strong community inside the Cluster Alliance working on human-centric industry, I would say. You know, we can return to it later. But in the Industrial Forum, we are supporting on the Task Force 2 the definition of what is called transition pathways, the plans that the 14 industrial ecosystems, the strategic industrial ecosystem defined by the European Commission needs to follow in order to achieve the goals that the Commission and the industry has agreed. You know, the main priorities being, as always, during the last years, digital, green, and resilience. So we are working on the transition pathways, and there are some opportunities open for contributing to some of them. Okay, you have in the screen and presentation the link to the page informing on transition pathways. My recommendation would be for you to explore it and to participate in the definition and implementation if you are interested. There is another priority that is getting strong attention at European level, that is the economic security strategy. And for your information, we are also discussing about this strategy at the EU Industrial Forum, and we are contributing from the cluster community. And we think we defend the idea that we can contribute a lot through the business networks. Network during the COVID crisis demonstrated the capacity to quickly react and monitor what was happening, and we also demonstrated our capacity to actively answer the needs and the urgencies created by both by the COVID, but also by the disruptions in the supply chains. So we are now engaged on contributing to these European economic security strategic plans. It's critical because you know that we are suffering from some critical dependencies from other countries, and we need to improve our capacities at the European level to defend our interests and our competitiveness. The strategic technologies for Europe platform is also a critical plan, a critical strategy created by the European Commission and very recently PUMS. I think that there are many interesting initiatives under a step that could be perhaps supported by your contributions. The European Commission and the global Europe depends on the contribution of the SMEs, on the creation of deep tech initiatives and the implementation of those initiatives to improve our resilience. And it will be worth for you perhaps to explore what does mean the sovereignty seal. For example, that is a certification that guarantees that your programs, your projects are aligned with the European priorities. I don't know if you know, but there is a platform at the European level to facilitate the collaboration between companies and between clusters. But remember, the clusters are just there to support companies and SMEs. And inside the ECCP, there are many different services. Here, I am highlighting the most important ones related to the creation of a connection opportunity. We have a series of video webinars that are organized every 2 weeks. In this last month, every week, on very interesting topics, interesting for cluster, interesting for the industry. Okay, so you can join them. We are also organizing what we call C2 labs, cluster to cluster laboratories, but they are fully open for SMEs. And the idea of the C2 labs is to facilitate the definition of strong and excellent projects. The idea is to facilitate the last steps on project ideas that are mature but are lacking perhaps funding opportunities, perhaps members on the consortia, perhaps resources. So it's a 2 days event that provide mentorship for the definition of those projects. So my recommendation is for you to explore the possibility to participate in them. The next one is in Ljubljana, Slovenia, on the 23rd and 26th of October. Here in the you have the link. And we are also organizing cluster meetings. We are going to meet around several regions across Europe. Lyon is the next one. We will be in Poland. We will be in Prague. We will be also in Ireland, hopefully, several countries across Europe. So please check them, and if you have the opportunity, join us on the cluster mid-regions. And that's all from my side. Thank you and have a very nice and productive day.
Thank you very much, Anke and Antonio. So yeah, this is it. We've come to the end of this really interesting event, I think. Now on the screen, you see a visual recording of today's discussions. Sven Krug in the back, he's the graphical recorder who was recording while we were speaking. So yeah, I think it's always nice to have a visual representation of the different concepts and statements that were being made, because I think we had a lot of very interesting and valuable insights today. I think, one of the most important ones was, the one-on-one with the SMEs, the time it's required to take the time to talk to them and really get to know them. The cluster, really plays a very important intermediary role here, but also towards the region. And I think your point, Daniel, with, the regions becoming more entrepreneurial, or, as Mariana Mazzucato also says, the state becoming more entrepreneurial, but regions also need to become more entrepreneurial to create markets and enable the different actors. So the cluster here is also an important player and actor, but also, of course, towards the EU. So the clusters are in the middle, they're in the center of all of these activities. Yeah, thank you for the wonderful contributions. And I think it was a very good discussion. Yeah. Veronica?
I'm happy we will continue no matter, no need of financial support. We need it. Okay, so keep it in mind. But thank you for being here with us, for sharing not only today, but 2 years together. And it was very nice. So from my point of view, it was very nice, the decision taken by SMEA to have only 2 projects, because the comparison you were looking for was also fruitful for us. So this would be repeated.
Only next time, maybe a little bit more time, so we have more time also to exchange between us. So,
yes, sure.
So no.
But please continue. It's not because the funding is over that it's co-funding. We help you develop your ideas.